Hello, my crafty friends. It's Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations, and for the month of October, I am going to be participating in a month-long hop called Till Death Do Us Craft, and this is going to be crafters on YouTube, Instagram, or blogs, so I will have more information in the description box below. What I'm making today is a Halloween advent calendar for my niece and my nephews. So this piece of paper is 8.5 by 7 inches, and I have just scored it at 2, 4, 6, and 8 inches. Now I've turned it and I'm scoring it at 1/2 inch, 2.5 inches, 4.5 inches, and 6.5 inches. So this will give us a 2-inch cubed little box. And so then I will show you this box, how I put it together. And then off screen, I created 29 more boxes. So this will be each day they get to open it up and have a piece of candy apiece. So I had to fit for the 3 kids into this 2-inch box. So I'm just using my hands and creasing these score lines. And so now we have to get rid of some pieces. So while I'm flipping around, now to the right is that little skinny section where I'm going to trim off and just leave the little middle tab. So I'm going to use my Tim Holtz long scissors and cut up to that score line right there. And then I notch it in on the other, from that middle section, just to give it, so the area doesn't hang over when I go to glue it together, if that makes sense. So you have to mirror on each side what you're doing. So what we do on one side, we have to do on the other. So once I orient myself to which way I want to hold the box, I'm going to cut up all these score lines on the sides. And then I will do that on the other side. So this hop is going to be for the entire month of October. Each person has been designated a day of the week that they'll post. Everyone is posting on October 1st and October 31st. My particular day to post is going to be Thursdays, so you will see posts from me every Thursday with a Halloween project for the entire month of October. I believe I have 6 projects total with the days everyone is posting. So now the second tab in, you're going to trim that down. Obviously, I'm going to trim it down crooked because that's what I do. I can't cut straight to save my life. The next one, the third one, you're going to completely cut off. And then the fourth one, you're going to trim down in half like I did that second little flap. And so then once I have all of this done, I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to completely mirror that on the other side. So cutting this one partial way down, cutting this one all the way off, and cutting this one part way down. So then the parts that we left will become the top and the bottom of the box. Eventually, where those tabs are that I have halved, I will trim them down a little bit more and notch them in just a little bit to make my box fold together a little bit better. I'm just going to put it together. You could technically do these boxes with no glue. They will hold together, but I did put some adhesive on mine just to make it a little bit sturdier because it was going to the kids. And so here I'm just going to notch these in a little bit just to give myself a little wiggle room so when I close the box, it closes a little better. I'm doing that on these main tabs, and I honestly I didn't do that for any of the other ones going forward. I didn't need to. I actually did it on the ones that had been, some of the tab had been removed. I found that worked best. And then this little tab to the right, we're going to put some strong adhesive. You can use liquid glue if you prefer. I'm going to use some double-sided tape to close this box up. That is all the glue that technically you need, but once I determined which was going to be the front of my box and then the back of my box, I did seal the back of the box closed just to make it a little bit sturdier. So then you just lay these down and they line up perfectly. And I will do some more trimming to those little tabs just to make the flap fit in there better. And then I did take a corner rounder and round the corners of both of the tabs that are inserted for the box. I sat and did this project while I was watching TV one day because my foot was bothering me. And I had an old corner rounder and I struggled with that. And it wasn't until the last, 3 or 4 boxes that I remembered that I own the We Are Memory Keepers Corner Chomper, and that I wouldn't have had to struggle to get the the corners rounded on these boxes, because the corner rounder that I chose is old and not sharp, and definitely this is Brutus Monroe Raven cardstock for the black one, so it's quite a good and thick cardstock. So lesson learned, use the better tools that you have. Remember what you have in your stash and use them. I tell you, am I the only one that does those sorts of things? So I'm just cutting a little off of these edges, like I said, just to make them, the top and the bottom of the box fit a little better into, make it a little easier to put them in. So that gives me some room in the front and the back of the tabs there. Now I've got it all set in. So then you're going to need some pattern paper, and I used 4 squares of 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. This is just random paper from my stash that I have been hoarding. I tend to keep all of my pattern paper and not use it, so this is a good stash buster for this. So this pattern just happens to be some bats that I'm adhering down to. I didn't put any on the back, so I just did the 4 sides, excuse me. I didn't do the bottom and I didn't do the back. So the back shows just the colors of the boxes, and I didn't do the bottoms because they were going to adhere to themselves, so it wasn't really going to show. If you want to save on paper as you're adhering them together, you don't need to do the side of the box that's going to butt up against another box, if that makes sense, but I ended up doing that. So here it is, all decorated with the pattern paper. So then I took my Cricut and cut out numbers. I used this punch to cut out my circles using some orange cardstock from my stash, and then I did the Cricut to cut out from the cardstock, the black cardstock, all of these numbers. And if I'd have been thinking, I'd have put some sticker on the back of those, but I adhered all of these with my art glitter glue. Again, just did all of this assembly line, style, did all of the boxes, did all of the pattern paper, then I glued all of the boxes together. I did share with my boss because I stayed home one day for a doctor's appointment, but had a management meeting, so it was via Zoom. So I sat actually while I was listening, but I kept my video off and worked on putting the pattern paper on my boxes. But here's all the letters, and I used the the Sparkle Blends for all of my little embellishments. Every box got a different embellishment from the Halloween series. I used a variety of different Sparkle Blends, and I've delivered this to my niece and nephews, and their favorite was the big black cat. So I can't wait for them to be able to enjoy this all month long. And then for Halloween, obviously, they get to go trick-or-treating. Well, hopefully. So I hope you check out everyone in this hop all month long. And as always, I hope that you have a great day.